What is going on, guys? Snickel here, and today I have another trophy talk for you. This is going to be for the week of March 12th, 2023, and it has been quite a, I guess you could say, successful and interesting week, and I've gotten a lot of things done, and I've worked towards a lot of things, and we have a lot of things coming up. Down in the comments below, let me know what games you guys have been playing, if you guys have been making any progress, any platinums you've gotten, or anything like that, because I love reading through all that stuff. I love reading through and seeing what everybody is doing or what their goals are or anything like that. So anyway, with all of that being said, let's get right into this update here. So I think last trophy talk I had ended around MotoGP 1011, which I had finished the multiplayer for that. So starting up the first game, we have Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. This is a little random. This is a little random game. We're going to go on a little bit of a rant here, and as a community, we need to come together to try to fix some issues here. So Assassin's Creed 4, there was something going around that apparently the one trophy that was tied to the convoys or whatever like that, the sharing is caring, which was the discoveries, which was tied to the Uplay. There was something going around that it was unobtainable, that you couldn't get it. The game was essentially crashing, and from now, or as of now, it is still quote unquote unobtainable. There is a workaround for it. It's a little bit tricky, and I'm going to try to do it, but people are earning the trophy, so it's definitely doable. It's definitely earnable, but there is a really, really weird and wacky workaround in order to get it done. Essentially, what's happening is the game is not connecting to the Uplay servers or services. Now, I wouldn't say this isn't a big deal, but it is a big deal, because if you are logged on to a Uplay account and you try to load the game up, the game will try to connect to the Uplay servers, and then it will essentially freeze. It won't do anything. So the game is actually unplayable unless you play it offline and not connected to the Uplay servers. Now, what you're probably wondering is, well, Snickel, are the multiplayer servers still up? Like, can you still play the multiplayer? And the answer to that is yes. The servers for the game are still up. You can log into the multiplayer. You can still do all of that. And I know that a few months ago, there was servers that were shut down for older Assassin's Creed games on the ones that were specifically on the PS3 and Xbox 360, that being Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Revelations, and 3. That didn't have the multiplayer in the Ezio collection. Those were cut out. Those were axed. The multiplayer was shut down, but they didn't actually shut the multiplayer down in Brotherhood. They just shut it down in Revelations and 3. So that's a little bit weird. So with that being said, I knew that all of that was happening. But there, basically everything that everybody was saying from Ubisoft was that anything that was cross-generation between PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, that mainly being Assassin's Creed 4 and games like Watch Dogs, the servers were not going down. Those services were still going to be up. That meant that the Uplay services were going to still be up, because we've never really had issues with a game connecting to Uplay that I can remember in recent memory. I mean, it's probably happened before, but I can't remember off the top of my head ever coming across a scenario like this. So with that being said, the multiplayer for the game is still working. It's still fully playable online. You just have to log into the game offline and then click on multiplayer, and then when you click on multiplayer, you sign into your PSN account, and then it'll load you into the multiplayer menu, and then I guess from there the game doesn't connect to the Uplay servers for some reason. I'm not really sure exactly how that works, but essentially if your PlayStation Network account is tied to a Uplay account, and you try to load this game up on the PlayStation 3, you will not be able to even play the single player. So with that being said, what I think we need to do, or not what I think, what we should do as a community is to try to bombard Ubisoft with all types of things to let them know that this is happening. Mainly because there have been complaints that have been made already, and I am currently in talks with the support, even though they're very unresponsive. I am in talks with the support to kind of let them know what's happening, but the general consensus to the outcome is that they're just saying that it's connection problems, it's people's internet. Essentially, they're not owning up to there being an issue with the Uplay and Assassin's Creed 4. So I don't know if I need to go on a live stream and show them what's going on. I would gladly do that. I'll go on and connect to the most dirt old game. I'll go on and connect to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood if they want me to show them that I can connect to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood perfectly fine, but Assassin's Creed 4 is not working. So with that being said, there is a workaround for the sharing is caring trophy. It requires you to unlink your account from a Uplay account, load the game up, create a new Uplay account, and then essentially get the trophy in one sitting with the PlayStation on, and then from there, you'll get the trophy. So worst comes to worst, that's what I'm going to do, and I am going to focus on this game when I'm done Hogwarts Legacy probably, or maybe cleaning up a few other games. I am going to go and I'm going to focus on this because if you don't know, I do plan on doing all the Assassin's Creed games, every single one of them, and Assassin's Creed 4 is the last game that I have on like last generation consoles, that being like PlayStation 3. I need to do Assassin's Creed 4, and then I need to do Chronicles on the PS TV. And with that being said, that would get like basically PS3 and PS TV games completely done, and then I can just focus on PS4 and then PS5 with Valhalla. But yeah, it's saying that it's unobtainable, but in reality, it is obtainable. There is just a very, very funky method that you have to use. I think also in the method, they're saying that you have to delete everybody off your friends list, which I don't think you would have to do that. That would be very, very strange to have to do that. But I don't want to do that. I absolutely do not want to do that. But if that's what I have to do in order to get this trophy, then I will do it, because I don't necessarily keep a lot of people on my friends list to start off with. I've always kept my friends list under 100, specifically for the PlayStation 3, because if you exceed 100, sometimes people don't show up because of the PlayStation 3, because the PlayStation 3 was limited to 100 friends, so I try to not exceed that. I always try to keep it below that. So if I end up having to delete my entire friends list and I need to go and add people back, that's fine with me. I'll like just take screenshots or something of everybody, and then when I'm done, I'll add them all back. But there is a workaround for that, but I am going to focus on this. But again, if you haven't already, go to Ubisoft or on Twitter or whatever and just put a complaint in and say that Assassin's Creed 4 on the PlayStation 3 is not connecting to the Uplay servers. And like I said, I'll make a video, or I'll live stream it so they don't think that I'm fucking with anything. I will do anything that we need to. I have a feeling that this will get fixed. I don't want to say it's going to get fixed, but I have a feeling it will get fixed. And the reason why I say that is because A, there's a workaround to actually make it work, and B, not in recent memory have I ever encountered anything with the Uplay servers being fucked up in a game and Ubisoft letting it go, let alone their servers in general. They've been typically pretty good with keeping their servers up, even on older games. There are a few that they haven't, but for the most part, keeping their servers up. I know that they've been having a lot of issues financially and legally and ethically with their offices, but I can't see that this staying the way that it is. I'm sure that it'll get fixed. But with that being said, I did load the game up. So funny story why it's here. I did load the game up, and I actually tried to switch to my alt account to just log on and see what was going on, if it was actually an issue or if it was just something that was happening to just a handful of people. And I thought I was playing on my alt account, and then I popped a trophy, and I was like, oh, cool. And then I pressed the XMB button, and I was like, oh, well, I'm on my main account. So that's kind of cool. But it doesn't really matter because I already had the game on my list. So, me getting another trophy doesn't really matter. It's not like I didn't have the game on my list. I had the game on my list because I did the multiplayer. But, yeah, I'm definitely going to focus on playing this game very soon and getting that trophy, and I'm hoping that Ubisoft will fix that issue moving forward. But that is why Assassin's Creed 4 is on my list, if you're wondering. All right, so now we get into a few other games that have kind of been in limbo for a while. The first one being Hawks 1, which I did platinum. Platinum video will be out in the next few days. And yeah, this was just quite the grind. So Brian and I started this game back in August. It was a while ago. I'll say that. And the main goal, so we started Hawks 2 first because I had already had it on my list, and if you want me to be honest, I just wanted to get that game done before moving on to Hawks 1, even though that's very unconventional of me to do the second game before the first game. It was already on my list, so I just wanted to do that one first. So then we moved into Hawks 1, and honestly, the multiplayer wasn't too bad. There were a few trophies that were kind of a pain in the ass because we were trying to get certain upgrades and stuff, but then as we were boosting XP, we realized that like those trophies would have been so much easier if we had just used the method that we were using to boost XP in order to get all of our I guess upgrades or whatever you want to call them. And yeah, we did get through the multiplayer fairly fast, and it was somewhat enjoyable. There was a lot of ultra rare trophies, which is kind of cool, but again, I don't really focus on that because I just want to play the games that I like to play. So we played through the multiplayer, then we went and we played through the single player, and we played through, I believe you had to do it on the hardest difficulty, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you had to beat the game on Elite, so we went through and we played through the entire game, beat it on Elite, and then from there, the only thing that we had left in order to get the entire game done was we needed to get max level, which is the trophy. I'm trying to find it. It is this trophy right here, General of the Air Force, and that is to reach rank 40. Now, what you're probably thinking as well, Snickel, level 40 can't be too bad. I mean, you're talking an old game. There's no way with boosting methods and stuff. It can't be that bad. It was miserable. It took a long... I wouldn't say it was miserable. It took a long time. It took a very long time. And the reason why I'm saying it took a long time is because there was only Brian and then I had an alt account. Now, this can go a lot faster if you have more people playing it, but with just the two of us in one alt account, it really was taking a decent amount of time. So you can do the breakdown for this, and you can run the numbers if you want to, but this is essentially what ended up happening. To get to level 40, I think you need like 1.5 million XP. It's a shit ton of XP considering the game, and it gets progressively and exponentially higher longer the higher level you are. So like from level 39 to level 40 is basically what it would take to get from like level 1 to level like 35 or something. It's absolutely ridiculous. So when we played through the entire campaign and we played through the entire multiplayer, we got to a pretty high level. We were feeling pretty good. I think we were like high 20s or so. We were feeling pretty good. And then we were figuring out how to boost and get the rest of the levels. Now, in Hawks 2, which we'll talk about next, you can level up by playing in the single player. In Hawks 1, you can't really do that. It's kind of weird, and I don't know why you can't do that, but you can't do that. It's not efficient to do it that way. You can, but it's not efficient. It would take like 10 times as long. So we figured out a way to do it and how to level up pretty efficiently in the multiplayer, which just required 3 people, and essentially my alt account would fly in a straight line. The person getting the points would fly, or there would be, it would go my alt account, the person not getting the points, and the person getting the points. And what would happen is the person that was not getting the points would fly right behind my alt account. It would shoot rockets at my alt account, and then there would be a person behind them that would then use something to deflect those rockets. And every time you deflected rockets, you got XP. And essentially, you could get a decent amount of XP. So we would play 15-minute rounds, and we would get probably around 30 to 35,000 XP per 15 minutes. So if you want to do the math, you can do the math. That's how long it ended up taking. Now, it did take us a little bit longer because we realized later on, like way later on, that when you were on one team, you could actually get more XP because the plane stayed in bounds for longer. Because essentially my alt would just fly in a straight line, and then when it got out of bounds, it would die and respawn. Because I wasn't controlling it. I didn't have the patience to control it and do everything. That's why I'm saying if you do this with more people, it's a lot faster, because when you can get streaks with points, and when you're getting streaks, you can get like 20 times the amount of points that you get from when you spawn. So it makes it extremely fast if you have people that are actually playing and flying, because you can essentially just fly in a circle and have people get this in like probably an hour or two. With the times 20 XP. It took us a little bit longer, but with that being said, 30 to 35,000 XP really wasn't that long. And for us to get, I believe for us to get from level 39 to level 40, just for that gap, was probably 3.5 hours of doing that, which sounds like a lot, but in the general scheme of the entire game, it wasn't. But with that being said, we got through, we grinded that out. We spent a lot of time one day, really grinding it out, and then we got to level 39, and we're like, one more level, we're just gonna fuck it, we're doing this. So that we got on like on a Monday or something, grinded that shit out and just got it done. And oh my god, what an amazing grind to get done. I haven't gotten a multiplayer grind done like that in a long time. A lot of single player grinds, but no multiplayer grinds like that in a decent amount of time. And then with that being said, all I had left in order to get the platinum was this trophy Afterburner, which is to fly faster than Mach 2 for 1 hour in the campaign. Honestly, kind of a stupid trophy because there are only certain planes that can fly at Mach 2, and flying at Mach 2 for like an hour with how the missions are is just stupid. Like, I feel like you'd have to play the campaign like 5 times in order to get that legitimately, because essentially, you can fly for Mach 2 for an hour straight, and I think you actually can rubber band it if you wanted to. But with it being my last trophy and doing it on stream, I did not want to rubber band it because that's, kind of stupid. So, yeah, we got that done and got the platinum, and that got us Hawks 1 done. So, again, a video for platinum trophy will be out in the next, day or two, something like that. I don't want to go back to back, but yeah, what an experience. This was a game in the making for a long time, an old PS3 game that's pretty notorious for having a grindy multiplayer and grindy boost, but that is another one that bites the dust that's, been on my mind for years to get done. And then up next we have Hawks 2, which is again a game that's been on my list for a while, and it's been on my mind for a while. I started this game back in 2016. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something, and this is, a little bit of backstory if you want to hear about it, but essentially, I started this game back in 2016, September of 2016, because the servers for Hawks 1 and Hawks 2 were supposed to go down. They were supposed to go down in September of 2016. This was a game that, like, the servers were supposed to shut down, and they never shut down. They've stayed up for the past 7 years, or 6.5 years, whatever it's been. It's actually insane that the servers were supposed to shut down, and they never did. So if you want to do these games, hop on them, please, because I don't know what's going to end up happening. So the reason why Brian and I started playing Hawks 1 and Hawks 2 back in August was because there was the thing with the Ubisoft games getting shut down. Certain Ubisoft games were getting shut down, that being the Assassin's Creed games, I think like Splinter Cell Blacklist. There was a few games that were getting shut down, and Hawks 1 and Hawks 2 weren't on there, but in my head, I was thinking, well, these games are still online today, so, like, maybe Ubisoft will figure out that they're online, and when those server shutdowns come around, they'll, axe the games, and they'll be gone. They didn't do that, so you can still do it if you want to, and really, they're not that difficult to do. Even playing the games on the hardest difficulty is pretty simple, especially if you play with another player, because you essentially can't fail the mission. It's impossible to fail the mission unless you don't do the objective, but, like, you can die as many times as you want to. Whereas if you're playing in single player, I think if you die once, like, it's game over. But, yeah, I played it back in September of 2016 to get it done, and I got, like, 2 trophies and then never played it again, and I thought it was a game on my list that was kind of, more or less unobtainable, and then I looked into it a little bit. I figured out it wasn't actually down, so, like, I wanted to do it because it was on my list, and I've always wanted to do the Hawks games. I find flying games, pretty interesting. That's why I've done, like, all the air conflicts games, well, multiplayer-wise. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. So Hawks 2, with Hawks 1 being done, this moves me into Hawks 2. Now, again, Brian and I did do Hawks 2 before Hawks 1. So we played through the entire multiplayer, which for Hawks 2, the multiplayer, I would say, is a little bit easier than Hawks 1. Definitely doesn't take as long. The single player, you don't get a trophy for every single story mission like you do in Hawks 1, but that's okay. So we did the multiplayer, then we played through the single player, co-op-wise, did all that. Now, Hawks 2 does have something called, I believe they're like survival missions. Let me double check that real quick. Yes, there is something called survival mode in Hawks 2. Now, there's a few trophies tied to it, and I think there's kind of like a one that's kind of bullshit. So let me look it up. I don't remember where it is, but there was a bullshit trophy tied to the survival mode. Hold on. Oh, so I guess the one that was kind of bullshit was just completing a survival map. You have to complete an entire match, and you're probably thinking like, well, that's not that hard, right? It was pretty hard because you only get like 3 lives, and you don't get like unlimited rockets. Like there's pickups to pick rockets up, but it's not unlimited rockets. So if you're playing with another person, you need to be kind of frugal with your rockets, and you need to kind of be good at the game in order to complete it. And it's definitely something that you cannot do by yourself. You definitely need to do that with two people. And then the other thing that was kind of annoying was the trophy right here called Engineer, which is to repair 90 HP by using repair drones. You have to, I think you need at least two people on the other team, maybe three people. Because when you call the repair drone in, I believe the repair drone will only repair like 40 or 50 HP or something like that. So you have to do it in one move. You can't do like 50 HP and then have someone's HP go down and then do 50 more HP. You have to do it in one drone, so you have to have multiple people to get that one. But other than that, the game, I would say Hawks 2 is probably easier than Hawks 1. Now, I did start to do some of the stuff that I need to do in this game, but I didn't do all of it. So what I have left in Hawks 2 is I need to fully master 15 planes, which I believe I'm at maybe 7 planes right now. And the planes take probably, I would say, you need around 4 to 5,000 XP in order to master a plane. And I would say you could probably get about 1,000 XP every 5 minutes or so, maybe 10 minutes. No, I would say probably 5 minutes. So it would probably take you around a half an hour to master a plane. And with doing 8 of them, that would take me probably around 4 hours. I would say 4 to 5 hours to master the planes that I need to master. So that's not that hard. And then the other trophy that I need that will be tied to that, which I'll get before mastering the planes, is reaching level 50. I believe I'm level 45 right now. And the levels in this game are a lot easier than Hawks 1. You're only talking like 5, 6, 7,000 XP to level up compared to like 150,000 in Hawks 1. So a little bit easier there. But I should get those two at the same time. I should actually get the levels before the planes. And then the last trophies that I need to get are No Restrictions and Peripheral Vision. No Restrictions is to fly for 60 minutes with assistance off in the story mode, and Peripheral Vision is to fly faster than Mach 2 for 60 minutes in story mode. Same trophy from Hawks 1 that I ended up getting the platinum with. And essentially, these are missable, so I will need to either start a new call sign or something like that in order to get these. I don't know exactly how to do it. I've heard like deleting your game save or something like, I don't know. So I need to look into it, but those will definitely be the last 2 trophies that I get. But I do want to grind these level 50 and the 15 masteries, fairly soon. But yeah, that's that. And then last up, we have the game that I've essentially been playing like a majority of my time, even though I haven't really been playing that much. I feel like this is the game I've been dumping most of my time into, which is Hogwarts Legacy. And I've been putting a lot of guides out. I have a few more guides that I need to put out on Trophy Owners Gaming to be completely done with the game. But with that being said, I really have been enjoying the game, and there's a few frustrations that I do want to talk about right now. Let me get a quick drink of water before we get into that, though. So, first off, I have to say that still love the game, still love the combat, still love everything about the game, still love the environment, still love all that. As for completion of the game, I fully completed the story mode. I do need to complete the House Cup, which I need to get to level 34, which I believe I'm level 32 right now, so very close to that. And I also need to complete all side quests, which I would say I'm pretty close to that. I need to do a few collectibles for one, and then I think I need to find a few more. But other than that, I'm basically done the side quests. So essentially all I'm doing right now in the game is I'm collecting everything. Because collecting everything gets you XP, which you use to get talent points. There's also trophies tied to it. And then that's how you get to level 40 and everything like that. So essentially, I'm in a collectathon right now. But my big issue with the game is that there has been a lot of issues with stat tracking. And I've talked about this before. I don't understand how a simple task such as stat tracking is such an issue. I truly don't. Now, it's been an issue. There's been a few people. Brian has been having issues with it. There's forum posts about it. There's a lot of people talking about it. And there was a patch that was recently put out that was supposed to quote unquote fix this. And I don't think it necessarily fixed it for everybody. Now, where I've been having my issues personally is that I have been having issues with, I wouldn't say necessarily stat tracking, but I've been having issues with the map kind of annotating the right things that I've been doing. So what I mean by that is, let's say that I complete an ancient magic thing where you go up to the ancient magic, you press square, and then you have to collect the 3 things. Well, there's an ancient magic, thing on my map, that is saying that I need to do it, and in the corner of the map it's saying that I still need to do it. But when I go to it, there's nothing there, and I know that I've done it because I remember doing it. So there's weird stuff like that, and it's very, very strange. But where I say it's strange is because on the map it's saying that I need to do that and that it's not counting it. But then when I go to like my challenges and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure it is counting it. So as long as the challenges are right, that's all that matters, because there's a trophy down here that's tied to completing all of the collections. And that is essentially tied to the challenges as well. You need to do the challenges to do the collections. So as long as the challenges are counting what I'm doing, I really don't care what the map says. The map could be completely fucked for all I care, and it honestly is, but as long as my collections is right, that's all I care about. So, yeah, moving forward with that, I'm going to continue to play through the game, and I'm going to continue to do that. I do want to play through the intro and try to get the Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Gryffindor map room trophies, and I want to just see like how fast that kind of takes in order to get that. But with that being said, essentially all I need to do is all the collectibles, and then I do need to go out of my way to do a few things like breeding every type of beast, which I'm halfway through, and then doing like using ancient magic on all the enemies. I need to get that as well. I need to look to see like if that's tracked in the game, and I can figure out like where I need to go for certain enemies. But all in all, really, really enjoying the game. Like I said, a few more guides that I'm going to be putting out on Trophy Hunters Gaming, but for the most part, the game has been super enjoyable. I'm about 60, I would say I'm about 2/3 through the collections. And I would say that's pretty accurate, I would say, with playtime that I've put in, because between doing the story mode and the collectibles and everything, I'd say I'm probably about 2/3 the way through the game. So I want to plan on hopefully getting this game done this weekend, by this weekend or early next week. That's kind of my goal, but I'm really, really enjoying the game. So anyway, that's what I've been playing this week. So what do I plan on playing in the upcoming week? So as I've already stated, Hogwarts Legacy is going to be still like the main game that I'm playing. And then after Hogwarts Legacy, I am debating if I want to play this game, because I do have it, but Wolong Fallen Dynasty. I was going to say Dynasty. And it's essentially a Team Ninja, Soulsborne type game, kind of like Neo, or made by the same people that made Neo. I shouldn't say like Neo, because it's definitely not like Neo, but I'm debating if I want to play this game, because it seems like this is actually a pretty easy platinum, and I've been itching to kind of play a Soulsborne game, especially like a samurai game like this. So I might end up playing this after Hogwarts Legacy, but we'll just see how I'm feeling, because there's a few games that I do want to platinum that are going to be like essentially mainly stream games, but I need to stream to get the platinum in them. So that obviously being, I want to platinum Hawks 2 if I can this week. Another game that I would love to platinum, and I could probably do on the same stream, is Madden 19, because essentially all I need for that is full set, which is easy to get because I know how to do it now. And then there's a few other games a little bit farther down on my list that I need to get back to, and I want to play, but they're mainly only going to be, or not mainly, they're only going to be games that I play on stream, that being Hitman 2016, along with Knack, and then like other games like Anthem. Those are games that I'm doing specifically on stream that, whenever I stream, I just need to do it. And then off stream, really the only games again that I'll be playing is like Hogwarts Legacy. I will be. I always talk about it, but I really want to go back and do Dirt Rally 2.0. I've been putting that off for like a really long time, and I just need to get back and do it. But yeah, Hogwarts Legacy, that, and then Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. That's going to be a game, again, that I'm going to focus on. And like I said, with the Uplay thing being an issue, like, I do think that it's going to be something that's going to get fixed. And if it does get fixed, regardless of if it does get fixed or it doesn't get fixed, I am going to be monitoring that game, and I'm going to be playing that game very, very soon. I really wanted to play back through the series chronologically. Like, I wanted to do 2, 3, or 2 Brotherhood, Revelations 3, 4. I wanted to do it that way, but with 4 being all fucked up, like, I think I'm just going to end up doing 4, and then I'll play the rest chronologically when I get back to it. But I do not like want that to essentially ruin the entirety of me playing and platinuming every single Assassin's Creed game, and that's the one that's gonna ruin it. But But yeah, I think that that's it for games that I'm going to play moving forward. There are a few other games as well. I've talked with Brian about playing a few other games online because with us being done Hawks 1 and Hawks 2, that was really the multiplayer game that we had been playing at the time. We've talked about trying to finish up Resident Evil 6 on the PlayStation 5 along with or PlayStation 4, along with doing maybe like Resident Evil 5 on the PlayStation 4, doing like the Resident Evil PlayStation 4 games. We've been talking about that. We've been talking about doing Bioshock 2, Fallout 76. There's a few games that we've been talking about doing, and we just need to, pick one and go with it. But there are a few other games that I want to focus on as well, which I've kind of let slide by. So the first one being Resident Evil 8 Village. I did get the DLC for this a few weeks ago, and I do have it downloaded, so I do want to play that fairly soon and get that back to 100%. Along with Among Us on the PlayStation 5, there was a DLC that came out, free DLC. I think it takes 4 people, so I definitely want to do that. And then another game is Horizon Forbidden West, which I've been waiting to do the New Game Plus until they put the DLC out. But I have no idea when the DLC will come out, so that is still on standstill until the DLC comes out. And then the last 2 games at the bottom, which Uncharted 3 is always going to be on the bottom because I can't do it. But I do want to, at some point, get back to Uncharted 4 and try to finish the survival maps. That's been a huge thing that's just been, looming there for years. But I used to, so back when I originally did the trophy talk, if you guys were around for that, any of you guys, I used to essentially set my goal as these games that I had platinumed but not 100%ed, and I worked through essentially all of them until all I had left was Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 4. I've added a few, but I do definitely want to get back to those and get those done because I like having the 100%. But yeah, that's what I plan on playing. I know that that's kind of all over the place. I've been having that issue the past few months of kind of just feeling like I'm all over the place with gaming because I've been wanting to get things done, do this and do that. But I will say with me moving my guides specifically to Trophy Hunters Gaming and doing that, it has really freed my mind up in terms of like being able to play games and hop around, because when I was making guides and I was putting them on this channel, the Snickel channel, I was very, very focused on like doing guides for the entirety of a game, and I never wanted to put any other content out while I was making those guides. And then when I was done the guides, then I wanted to put a platinum video out for that like immediately. So with me doing guides on a different channel, it allows me to be able to play different games and not have to like strictly do certain games and put certain videos out and this and that. So it has kind of freed up a little bit, and it's made me be able to like kind of hop around and play other games. But I do want to try to finish things up and get things done. And that's the main goal at the end of the day, is just getting things done. And trying to focus on like what the next game is going to be, because I have been trying to do like the rotation of games where I'm doing like Hitman, Star Wars, and then I was doing Knack because Brian paid for it with Twitch points, so like that was a focus that I was going to do. And I definitely want to keep doing that, but there's games again that I just have that are like right on the cusp of being done, like I have like Medal of Honor where I just need to play through on the hard mode, but like I don't want to do Medal of Honor 2010 until I do not Warfighter, Frontline. So like I want to do Frontline, and then I just play through Medal of Honor and get that done. But there's a lot of games that are like right on the cusp like that I just need to finish and get done. And there's a lot of other games where like I just want to play them. Essentially, like I just want to play them. There's a lot of games. There's a lot of games. Another thing that I want to focus on, which it kind of Assassin's Creed 4 made me kind of think about in terms of just the entirety of my collection, is just playing PlayStation 3 games in general. I really, really, really neglected PlayStation 3 games last year, and if you look at the platinums that I got last year in 2022, I did start off with 2 PlayStation 3 games, that being Grand Theft Auto 5 before the servers went down, or maybe slightly after, and then Air Conflicts Vietnam, and then I never went back. And part of that was because I had gotten my PlayStation 5, so I was very excited to play my PlayStation 5, but I never went back and got any PS3 games after that. Like, I did Air Conflicts Vietnam, and then Grand Theft Auto 5, and then if you look here, like I did like Godfall, Star Wars, Astros, Among Us, Horizon, Elden Ring, Car X. I did the multiplayer for Soul Calibur 5, Speed 3 Grand Prix, My Name is Mayo, Everybody's Golf. Like I did not platinum any PS3 games until recently, until Hawks. Hawks has been my latest PS3 game, and my one before that was from January of 2022. So that's kind of crazy. I've been neglecting my PlayStation 3 and Platinum's on my PlayStation 3 for a while, which is really, really a sin because I love the PlayStation 3. It's one of my favorite consoles, if not my favorite console. But with that being said, what Assassin's Creed 4 made me realize was that I really want to play my PlayStation 3 games. And not only do I want to play them, I want to platinum my PlayStation 3 games. And I especially want to platinum PlayStation 3 games, or that generation being PlayStation 3, PlayStation TV games that are cross-generation, that have some connection to multiplayer or just in general. And really what that stems from is, again, Assassin's Creed 4, but recently doing Need for Speed Rivals and Need for Speed Rivals on the PS3 and Need for Speed Most Wanted on the PS TV. It really made me think that, like, I should probably go back and just get those games done. Because Need for Speed is going to be in the same boat as Assassin's Creed, where, like, I want to get done every game that's on the last generation and just be done with it, or 2 generations ago, and then all I have to worry about is the PlayStation 3 and then the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Because as for Need for Speed, I've done everything on the PlayStation 3 other than Need for Speed Rivals, which was a stack, and I do need to do Need for Speed Most Wanted on the Vita. That's the only one on the Vita. But I've done Undercover, Shift, Hot Pursuit, Shift 2, The Run, Most Wanted. I've done every single one on the PS3, so I should keep it up, and I should do the other PS3 ones just in case anything happens. But that's kind of been my thought with that, is, you know, just getting those PS3 games done and trying to focus on them. But like I said, it's very, very difficult, and I feel like I've been having a lot of issues with trying to more or less figure out what I want to... Let me get some water, man. Oh, man. Let me not die. Let me not die mid-video. I've just been having issues. I wouldn't say issues. Issues is definitely a bad word. I've been just jumping around and not really focusing on trying to do things, and that mainly comes down to new games coming out or server shutdowns. But with essentially every server shutdown being done and a majority of new games coming out that I'm more or less not going to be playing, I'm hoping to focus on that. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Snickel, you're not getting Resident Evil 4? Like, you're not getting that? No. In actuality, like, there's only a few games that I'm looking forward to this year. One of them was Hogwarts Legacy. The other one was Wolong. There's supposed to be a new PGA Tour game coming out in April, I believe. So I'm definitely going to be getting that. And then I'm trying to think, there was, like, Skull and Bones is coming out. I know that. I think that there was, like, there was another game that was coming out that I was looking forward to. I wasn't even looking forward to, like, the new Dead Space. Like, I don't even... Oh, it was the new Star Wars game. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That's another one that I want to play. But, like, even like a game like Marvel Spider-Man 2, like, I've not played Marvel Spider-Man. So, like, I definitely want to play that game, but, like, that's not in my realm of, like, stuff that I want to play. And then there's a few other games that, like, I'm interested in, like games like Lord of the Rings Gollum. But, like, in reality, the only games that I'm looking for that haven't come out yet are going to be Star Wars Jedi Survival, this PGA Tour game, and then it was like Hogwarts Legacy, and then Skull and Bones. Those are, like, the only games that I'm, you know, looking forward to, that I've pre-ordered, that I'm ready to play. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to continue to play games and work through the backlog and do everything that I want to do and play what I want to play and do all that and do the multiplayer and all of that. That's definitely the goal there. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to end this rambling because I feel like I've been rambling, and I can ramble and ramble and ramble for hours, but I don't want to do that because I don't think that would be healthy for myself, especially considering what time it is. But anyway, with all that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, again, let me know what games you guys have been playing down in the comments below. And if you've made it this far in the video, down in the comments below, put in, let me think of a word to put in applesauce. Say applesauce in the comments if you've made it this far. But down in the description below, you'll find links to all types of stuff. My Twitter, my Twitch, platinum videos of all the platinum trophies that I've gotten over the past who knows how many years. Also, a link to Twitch where I do live stream all of my platinum trophies. And there is and other games as well. And there also is a link to my link tree, which will take you to basically every single social media that I have. So like stream archive, stuff like that. So if you want to go check any of that stuff out, again, would greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate the follows and everything like that. Again, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys stopping by, listening, commenting, doing all that, and supporting. I really, really, really do appreciate it. And if you've made it this far and you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing for more trophy content like this. Anyway, I hope to see you guys around sometime soon.